What would you do if the partner you trusted with your life became the single greatest danger in it? In today's story, the protagonist is forced to confront this nightmare, and her breaking point is a masterclass in what happens when love is finally eroded by carelessness. It's 2 in the morning, and I'm writing this through tears, completely worn out. I've held this in for so long, not wanting to burden my friends or family with my marital troubles, but I've reached my limit. I'm Claire, I'm 34, and I've been with my husband, Leo, who is 37, for 8 years. For most of that time, things were good, but ever since our daughter, Lily, who is now 3, was born, I have been unable to trust Leo with anything, no matter how small. To understand my situation, you need some background. When I was 19, a semi-truck driver fell asleep at the wheel and turned my car into a heap of scrap metal, with me still inside. The accident left me with enough metal holding my body together that I light up like a Christmas tree for TSA. I am physically impaired, with good days and bad days. I used a portion of my settlement check to buy a house outright and had it retrofitted to accommodate my needs, because I know that I'll eventually require a wheelchair. I have a great job in software development that allows me to work from bed on my bad days, so financially, we've always been secure. In fact, my husband, Leo, hasn't worked in the last 5 years. For a long time, this was perfectly fine. Between my settlement money, the paid-off house, and my salary, I actually enjoyed having him home with me. He contributed by handling most of the domestic chores, and we even paid for a weekly cleaner to give us more quality time together. He was the man I could rely on, the one I trusted, but ever since our daughter Lily was born, it was like a light switch turned off in his head. Claire couldn't know it then, but this wasn't just a phase, it was the beginning of the end, a slow unraveling of the man she thought she had married. His carelessness started with things related to Lily. He would buy the wrong size diapers, consistently. He wouldn't mix her formula bottles properly, leaving clumps at the bottom. He'd put her diapers on backwards. I'd find poop-covered wipes just left out on the changing table. He'd forget to latch the child-proof cabinets. Just this past week, he went to the store 3 separate times because he kept coming home with the wrong size socks and shoes for her. I finally gave up and just ordered the correct ones on Amazon. His incompetence bled into how he cared for me, too. I have a weekly pill organizer, a crucial part of managing my health. He tried to help me fill it and ended up spilling the contents of new, expensive medications all over the floor. He then claimed to have cleaned them all up, but I kept finding pills in the grout for days. A dangerous game of hide-and-seek when you have a toddler. He repeatedly brought me grapefruit juice to take my medications with, a huge and widely known contraindication for many drugs. He repeatedly forgot that I can't have dairy and would put milk in my coffee or cheese on a burger. He has broken so many of my things just from being careless. He shattered my laptop because it slipped out of his hand when he tried to pack it for a trip, even after I specifically told him I would pack my own electronics. We've lost so many spoons and forks to the garbage disposal I've lost count. His mistakes weren't just inconvenient, they were becoming expensive. He tried to replace the head gasket in my car, a task he insisted he could handle. He over-torqued a critical engine bolt, tightening it so hard it shattered inside the engine block. 2 different mechanics said it was irreparable. A replacement engine would have cost $11,000, so we had to buy a new vehicle. A week later, he crashed the brand new car into our garage door because he swore he'd pressed the brakes, not the accelerator. And this revealed Leo's greatest fatal flaw, a profound inability to connect his actions to their consequences. A blind spot that was not just expensive, but was rapidly becoming dangerous. I had tried to talk to him about it. When I'd bring up how costly his mistakes were getting, he'd just wave it off and say, "It's not like we can't afford it." Meanwhile, he'd found a new hobby, making TikToks and streaming. I supported him at first, but I quickly noticed a disturbing pattern. As one commenter later pointed out, I essentially had 2 children, one lovely toddler and one huge man-baby. Man-babies are notorious for being unreliable because they also need a lot of parenting. With anything regarding Lily or me, Leo was sloppy and careless, but he never whoopsed his own stuff. He would build entire, intricate sets in the garage to stream or make videos, spending hours with intense focus. Then he'd walk out of the garage and seemingly leave his brain in there. It all came to a head 4 nights ago. He streamed himself building a new set piece for 9 hours straight. During that time, I worked a full day, clocked out early to pick Lily up from her summer camp, cooked dinner, fed both of us, and got her ready for bed. He finally came out of the garage to help put her to bed. I let him know I had to get some more work done and would be in my office. As I walked away, I asked him to please take the trash out. He said he would. 2 hours later, I left my office and was hit by a wave of warm, humid air. The house felt strangely hot. I saw that he'd taken the trash out, but had left our front door standing wide open. He was back in the garage, the sound of his video game blasting so loud he was completely oblivious. Panic seized me. My blood ran cold as I sprinted to Lily's room. She is perfectly capable of getting out of bed on her own, and the thought of her toddling right out the open front door into the night while her father was just feet away, deaf to the world, made me sick. Thankfully, she was sound asleep, but the horror wasn't over. As I walked back into the kitchen, I noticed a stovetop burner was glowing red. A small, empty pot was sitting right on top of it. I hadn't used the stove for cooking that night. As a commenter on my story would later say, forgetting a pot on the stove is obviously dangerous, but leaving the door open with a toddler in the house means he doesn't seem to be situationally aware enough to keep his own child safe. He shouldn't be driving, and our toddler shouldn't be left alone with him. I popped my head into the garage. "Hey," I said, my voice tight. "I need you for a minute." I calmly informed him about the open door. He just shrugged. "I thought I locked it." We checked the security camera footage. No, he did not. He didn't even close it. I then asked about the burner being on. "Oh," he said, "I was planning to make ramen and forgot." He walked over to the stove, pulled the still glowing hot pot off the burner, and put it straight into the sink, directly on top of our daughter's favorite plastic plate, which instantly began to melt into a warped, foul-smelling mess. I admit, I screamed. "What are you doing?" Startled, he realized what he'd done. He pulled the sizzling pot off Lily's ruined plate, and set it directly onto our countertop, instantly searing a black ring into the laminate. I grabbed it with an oven mitt and ran it under cold water. "I can't tonight," I told him, my voice trembling. "I can't deal with you. I'm taking my meds and going to sleep." He then did the final, unbelievable thing. He got a plastic cup from the cupboard, presumably to get some water, and set it straight down onto the still hot burner he'd just been using. That was it. That was the moment I hit my limit. I just started crying, deep, racking sobs of pure exhaustion and anger. He had the audacity to act confused. "It was fine. Things happen. It's just an accident," he said. "I've had a rough day from streaming. I'm just tired." "Why are you crying? It's just a cup. We can replace it." The anger boiled over. "It's because I have a liability and not a partner," I screamed. "What the fuck does that mean?" He shot back. "It means I can't trust you to do anything." My voice was raw. "That I'm always having to watch you like a child, always having to bear the costs of your mistakes. Every time I get careless and think I can trust you to be an adult for 5 minutes, I'm the one who gets screwed over." I took a breath, the cruelest words I've ever spoken spilling out. "I can't see you as a partner anymore. You're just another liability in my checkbook." He stared at me, his face a mask of shock and anger. Without another word, he stormed out of the kitchen and went to bed. I called my mom, sobbing, and told her everything. She thinks it's just stress and offered to take Lily for a week so we could figure things out. But she also said it was an asshole thing to call my husband a liability. The next morning, I told Leo that my mom would pick Lily up from camp and watch her for the week. "Okay," was all he said. That's the only interaction we've had since. It's been days. He spends all his time in the garage, playing games with his friends, making TikToks, and streaming. He's been ordering DoorDash and having the drivers deliver it straight to the garage so he doesn't have to enter the house. He refuses to be in the same room as me. I've tried messaging him, asking if we can talk or figure out a solution, but he just leaves me on read. If I pop my head into the garage, he ignores me completely, only apologizing to his viewers for the interruption once I'm gone. I love him dearly. I just miss the person he was before we had a child, the one I could trust and rely on. Did I screw this up forever? Was I being too harsh? Or was I just finally telling the truth? The story is a powerful reminder that in a true partnership, trust and reliability are the bedrock. When one partner consistently demonstrates a dangerous lack of care, they cease to be a partner and become a liability that can cost you everything. What would you do if the person you trusted most became the biggest danger in your life? And when does a pattern of accidents stop being accidental and start being a reason to leave?